or to give the name of to a female, this is haram. Rahim from Bangladesh.
Assalamu Alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum Assalam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, I have seen some Muslims greet another Muslim just by saying, like, Salam, how are you? So, Sheikh, my short question has two parts today. My first concern is, instead of Assalamu Alaikum, is it sinful to give Salam just by saying Salam? And what if someone greets me just by the word Salam? How should I respond, Sheikh? Jazakallah.
If you go to Islam Q&A, you will find the detailed answer to your question. But in short, Salam is sufficient, though it's not the Sunnah, because the minimal requirement for Sunnah greeting is Assalamu Alaikum. And if you increase that to be Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullah, that would be 20 hasanat, good deeds. And if you say Assalamu Alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, that would be 30. But if you say Salam or Assalam, that is against the Sunnah, but it is a valid thing. You may also be better than him and say Wa Alaikum Assalam, because that is better and Allah knows best. T from the UK.
Assalamu Alaikum.
Assalamu.
Yes, so I recently qualified as a job role similar to physiotherapy, and I wanted to know, in order to get customers, because there's this multicultural city I live in, if I went to, say, Hindu temples or churches and said to the people in charge, can you put my poster up for that advertises my business? Or if I went on for example, this is Ask Zad. So if I went to the Hindu or Christian version of their TV channels and asked to put my advert on their TV channels in between the shows, is these things permissible or should I stay away?
If there is any form of endorsement of their religion or accepting it, that is not permissible, of course. But if it is nothing to do with endorsing the religion or approving it or stating that this is acceptable in any means other than Islam, then it seems okay. But it is inappropriate totally for a Muslim to go and put such things on temples or churches or synagogues. We do not need them to advertise for us. You believe that the rizq is in Allah's hands, so keep this belief alive and move on, and Allah knows best. Maisha from Bangladesh.
Assalamu Alaikum, Sheikh.
Assalamu.
So I get a lot of waswas while using social media, such as I share Islamic posts which might be beneficial for people. Again, I refrain from many posts which might seem as an extremism for people because of the secular or Islamophobic mindset. And again, sometimes I might set privacy on other posts, which might not be haram, but at the same time not beneficial. It's just random memes or any random posts. So my question is it hypocrisy or kufr if I filter like this while choosing contents according to the audience?
On the contrary, this is not hypocrisy. This is what wisdom in da'wah is all about. If you know that a particular post would cause resentment and maybe confusion in the hearts of ignorant imbeciles or someone who has pre-notions of or against Islam, and this is only logical to prevent them from seeing anything that would increase that. But if you know that people are susceptible and accepting to whatever you post which drives them closer to Allah, and you do that, that's a win-win. So no, there is no hypocrisy in that. See, at the end of the day, we Muslims judge things by the conclusion. If I say this, what is the conclusion? Sometimes I may talk to a woman and tell her when she's complaining about her husband, why are you staying with him? Why don't you divorce him? You don't have children, you don't have this. Because she is the one who's causing the trouble in the marriage. And I give her what is known as a shock therapy, depending on her situation, about her emotional state, about her intellectual state. So I give her something that would wake her up and tell her, your husband could marry someone younger than you, much more beautiful, much more religious, who would make him happy. Then she wakes up and finds out that, whoops, what am I doing? No, I'm keeping my husband. I'm going to be a good woman. So you judge things by the conclusion. If someone is already interested in leaving her husband and you encourage her and she gets a divorce, that's not the right thing to do. But when someone is reluctant and you do this in order to get her back on track and you know what you're doing, inshallah, this is wise of you. We have Neela on the line from Bangladesh.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
Sheikh, shaitan is Iblis, but here we use the word shaitan for someone who is very naughty, especially to a kid, like he's very shaitan or he does very shaitani. Not only this, some compare small kids to angels, like they're angels, that's why Allah protected her. Nothing would happen to her, she's an angel. So I wanted to know if it is permissible or not, because angels, humans, and devils are three different things. Jazakallah khair.
For people to be called as shaitan, this is derogatory and sinful unless that person is a shaitan. So if we look at the president of the occupied Palestine, yani the Jew Israeli Netanyahu, we would say he's a shaitan. There's no problem in that. But to call shaitan to children, this is not permissible. Iblis is Satan. And any animal or creature that goes beyond its limit, we call that shaitan. And this is why the Prophet ﷺ instructed us to any black dog with the two yellow dots above his eyes. And he said that this is a shaitan, meaning that he's the most evil upon or among his species or the likes. To call a child an angel, this is not recommended, because angels are creatures of Allah Azza wa Jal, and they're honored and they're close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nevertheless, we know that in Surah Yusuf, when he came out to the women who were sitting and they were so shocked with his beauty, they cut their own hands with the knives they had for the fruit, not noticing that they cut their hands. And they said, this is not a human being. He's an honorable angel because of his beauty. So it's not recommended. It's okay to say at something that is beautiful that this is something related to the angels. But to call female children as angels, this is not permissible. Or to give the name of malak to a female or malak, this is haram. Because this is what the idol worshippers did when they claimed that the angels of Allah are females. So it is not permissible to call a female child Jibreel or Israfil or Mikael. However, we can call a baby boy Jibreel or Israfil or Mikael, and Allah knows best. Saad from Pakistan. Yeah, Saad.
Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu.
Sheikh, so how can someone who has OCD in a lot of things get over it, especially if he is confused with things like if this is kufr or not, or if things invalidate the prayer or not. So how can he do this?
Number one, the easiest way is to ignore. Very, very simple. Ignore. Now, if he says, oh, Sheikh, I can't ignore, in this case, you have to go and read books of Aqidah to cement and strengthen your iman, and you know what is kufr and what is not. If you say, oh, now I'm more confused, then I tell you, come and have a counseling session with me if you can afford it, and I'll talk you out of it, insha'Allah, Azza wa Jal, with the grace of Allah.